The Institute for Louisiana Culture and History workshops are an opportunity for Louisiana educators to meet with nationally recognized historians and curriculum specialists to build their content knowledge of Louisiana history, learn about the resources at 64 Parishes Encyclopedia, and learn how to bring both of those resources into their classroom.
We're going to be spending a lot of time in my sessions with the resources that we have, and then how are we going to make these work for our population of students.
We host 5 workshops annually. One 3-day workshop in downtown New Orleans at the Hellis Foundation John Scott Center, and 4 regional workshops held throughout the state in the fall and winter. 64 Parishes Encyclopedia is an online resource all about Louisiana culture and history. Each entry is written by a scholar, peer-reviewed by another scholar, and then internally goes through a rigorous editorial process. This ensures that the content on 64 parishes really stands out as a reliable, trusted source. We see that the encyclopedia is used by a lot of different people, definitely the general public, but also librarians, researchers, but a huge portion of our readership is students and educators. We ultimately partnered with the Louisiana Department of Education to expand our K-12 resources on 64 Parishes Encyclopedia. All of this new content is aligned with the new social studies standards that were released in fall of 2023.
With the new standards, I think it's incredibly important of what 64 Parishes has put together and the way it's organized. The teachers don't have to try to figure out, well, where does this fit in? The way they have it lined out with the standards, matching up with the content, it's so easy to access. And I think it's just simple for the teachers, you know.
What a fabulous resource to be able to have something you could go to and look up, you know, more comprehensive than a textbook that's able to be updated and changed and revised. And I think the fact that, you know, the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities has invested all of this time and effort into digital content, into teacher-focused content, into lesson plans is really just a tremendous resource.
You know, it's quality material. We don't have to worry about what we're putting in front of the kids. We know it's quality material.
So 64 Parishes is probably one of my favorite sites and projects that, and I say this as a digital humanist, that folks are not talking about enough. There are primary sources that are available, there are images, there are entries and context around images and sources and historical events and moments that are at a level that teachers can either, you know, scale up or scale down if they need to.
If I can give them that interview, that actual physical reading, instead of telling them, well, there are these source documents that say yada, 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 them being able to see it for themselves, even if they can't understand it, it still makes a connection to the reality of what it is. History for them is something that's, like I said, it is old, dusty in a book in a corner somewhere, and it needs to be brought back into their face. And the 64 Parishes website is bringing it into their face. It is showing them this physical reality that they have a tangible access to. They're able to look at it. They're also able to figure out where else can I go to get more from this, and they can build on it. So no longer do I have to worry about Wikipedia as much. Now it's go to 64 Parishes.
For our inaugural summer workshop, we surveyed teachers throughout the state to ask them what areas of Louisiana history they most wanted support in teaching in their classrooms. And we found that the overwhelming majority of teachers were really struggling to find resources that allowed them to teach about Louisiana's diverse history, the experiences of Indigenous Louisianans, of Black Louisianans. And we prioritized working with scholars who specialized in those fields to meet those teachers' needs.
I had a lot of kids this year that were just like, how is this important to me? What does this have to do with me?
One of the things that I hear a lot specifically with Native history, right, is that students will go through their entire educational curriculum and they will never see themselves represented, right? They will never have any content that speaks to their family stories, to their history, that helps them make sense of themselves, right? And I think it's really important, considering that there are 15 state recognized tribes in Louisiana, that Indigenous children are able to see themselves and their stories and their histories and feel good about them within their public school education.
Particularly for our students of color, especially for our Black students, having a sense of that African history is about having a sense of pride in ourselves, in our struggle, where we've come from, where we're going, and that we are more than just, quote unquote slave, that we were enslaved, and also that we resisted and we created something impossibly beautiful and brilliant out of terrible, terrorizing circumstances.
During the workshops, in addition to learning Louisiana history from historians and learning about the resources available through 64 Parishes Encyclopedia, they're also working with a teacher curriculum specialist to learn how to bring that content into the classroom in an exciting and engaging way. The workshops also offer a great networking opportunity to Louisiana educators. So we have teachers from parishes all around the state coming together, sharing resources, and really building community.
This has been the best PD I've been to in a long time. I mean, we made some connections here with other educators across the state that we will continue throughout the year. We're all in it, and it comes down to the center of all of this is about our students. 64 parishes and the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities has really jumped in feet first to help teachers, which in turn is going to help students, which in turn is going to help the whole state. Just all the enthusiasm. It was nice to see.